Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hope you're doing well. Let's continue our reading of Dante Alighieri's The Divine Comedy. I really like the flow of it. It's always fun to study texts that have been around for quite some time and are considered classics. Now, we are in Canto 8. Go ahead and listen to this as you are cooking, cleaning, scrubbing, doing whatever it is that you're doing. All right. Line 1. I say, continuing, that long before we to the foot of that high tower had come, our eyes went upward to the summit of it, by reason of 2 flamets we saw placed there, and from afar another answered them, so far that hardly could the eye attain it. And to the sea of all discernment turned, I said, what saith this, and what respondeth that other fire? And who are they that made it? And he to me, across the turbid waves, what is expected thou canst now discern, if reek of the morass conceal it not. Cord never shot an arrow from itself, that sped away athwart the air so swift, as I beheld a very little boat come over the water towards us at that moment, under the guidance of a single pilot, who shouted, now art thou arrived, fell soul. Pelagius, Pelagius, thou criest out in vain, for this once, said my lord, thou shalt not have us longer than the passing of the slow, as he who listens to some great deceit that has been done to him, and then resents it, such became Pelagius in his gathered wrath. Gathered wrath, all right. My guide descended down into the boat, and then he made me enter after him, and only when I entered seemed it laden. Soon as the guide and I were in the boat, the antique prow goes on its way, dividing more of the water than 'tis wont with others. While we're running through the dead canal, up rose in front of me one full of mire, and said, who art thou that comest ere the hour? And I to him, although I come I stay not. But who art thou that hast come so squalid? Thou seest that I am one who weeps, he answered. And I to him, with weeping and wailing, thou spirit maledict, do thou remain, for thee I know, though thou art all defiled. Then stretched he both his hands unto the boat, whereat my weary master thrust him back, saying, away there with the other dogs. Thereafter with his arms he clasped my neck, he kissed my face and said, disdainful soul, blessed be she who bore thee in her bosom. That's line 45. That was an arrogant person in the world, goodness is none, that decks his memory. So likewise here his shade is furious. How many are esteemed great kings up there, who here shall be like unto swine in mire, leaving behind them horrible dispraises. And I, my master, much should I be pleased, if I could see him soused in this broth, before we issue forth out of the lake, and he to me, ere unto thee the shore reveal itself, thou shalt be satisfied. Such a desire 'tis meet thou shouldest enjoy. A little after that I saw such havoc made of him by the people of the mire, that still I praise and thank my God for it. They all were shouting at Filippo Argenti, and that exasperate spirit Florentine turned round upon himself with his own teeth. We left him there, and more of him I tell not. But on my ears there smote a lamentation. On my ears there smote a lamentation, so it really stuck out to him and had like a lasting effect. Whence forward I intent and bare mine eyes, and the good master said, Even now, my son, the city draweth near, whose name is Dis, D-I-S, with the grave citizens, with the great throng. And I, its mosques already master, clearly, within there in the valley I discern, vermilion as if issuing from the fire. They were, and he to me, the fire eternal that kindles them within makes them look red, as thou beholdest in this nether hell. Then we ride within the moats profound, that circumvallate and that disconsolate city. The walls appear to me to be of iron. Not without making first a circuit wide, we came into a place where the loud pilot cried out to us, Debark, here is the entrance. More than 1,000 at the gates I saw, out of the heavens rained down, who angrily were saying, Who is this that without death goes through the kingdom of the people dead? And my sagacious master made a sign of wishing secretly to speak with them. A little then they quelled their great disdain, and said, Come thou alone, and he be gone, who has so boldly entered these dominions. So obviously we know Dante has been quite afraid and emotional. Just wanted to cry at certain points. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily bold, but even if you're afraid, you still got to go forward. So there's an element of being bold. Let him return alone by his mad road, the crazy path. Try if he can, for thou shalt here remain. Who hast escorted him through such dark regions? Think, reader, if I was discomforted, an utterance of the accursed words. For never to return here I believed. O my dear guide, who more than 7 times hast rendered me security, and drawn me from imminent peril that before me stood. Do not desert me, said I, thus undone, and if the going farther be denied us, let us retrace our steps together swiftly. And that Lord who had led me thitherward said unto me, Fear not, because our passage none can take from us, it by such is given. But here await me, and thy weary spirit comfort and nourish with a better hope. For in this nether world I will not leave thee. So onward goes, and there abandoned me, my father sweet, and I remain in doubt. For knowing, yes, within my head content. So notice that. So he's remaining in doubt, and I like how he puts that. Knowing, yes, or contending, battling it out in his mind, kind of just shows you the back and forth he's going through. That was line 111. I could not hear what he proposed to them, but with them there he did not linger long. Eerie each within rivalry ran back. So they're competing in how much they go back. It seems like they're like really going forward, trying not hesitate, accelerate. They closed the portals, those our adversaries. On my lord's breast, who had remained without, and turned to me with footsteps far between. His eyes cast down, his forehead shorn, had he, of all its boldness, and he said, with sighs, Who has denied to me the dolesome houses? And unto me, Thou, because I am angry, fear not, for I will conquer in the trial, whatever for defense within be planned. Whatever defense within be planned. Whatever they've plot inside, whatever they've been up to, whatever they come up with, He's gonna handle it. This arrogance of theirs is nothing new, for once they used it at less secret gate, which finds itself without a fastening still. Or it didst thou behold the dead inscription, and now this side of it descends the steep, passing across circles without escort, one by whose means the city shall be opened. Wow. Now that is really interesting. That's the end of that canto. Their arrogance is nothing new, but on mine ears there smote a lamentation, turned around upon himself with his own teeth. It's almost like he was eating it himself. Reminds me of the image of the snake chewing on his own tail. Canto 8, and then the next one is Canto 9. Look at that. And just a reminder of this first one of these lines, line 7. And to the sea of all discernment turned. So think of it as the sea of all discernment turned. Just a mass amount of consciousness almost. Just this fluid type of thought turning and changing. This water analogies, yet that's also quite literal as well, because the little boat is there. I don't know who Philegas is. It must be very significant, because he uses a lot of, I think it's Filippo of Argenti, I think it says here. He did talk about certain people who lived in that time. And remember, there's also this line, line 40. Then stretched he both his hands unto the boat, whereat my wary master thrust him back, saying, "Away there with the other dogs." So imagine people just trying to get on this boat. They're trying to pass through the water, and there's people there just up and they're not doing too well. It must be quite weird getting poked in the face with an oar as they travel across. Very troubling sight. I wouldn't want to be in that place. So may Allah protect us. We don't believe hell looks like this, but still, I think it's quite an interesting way to look at it. Very full of imagery that gets your mental juices flowing, and you never know, it can instill some fear in you, right? What do you think? Let me know. By the way, if you'd like to join my blog, www.subscribestar.com/MilahanArchive, I think you'll like it. Good community. I always post some long form things on there, and you should check it out. Have a good night.